Hi, I'm Patrick Perry. I'd like to show you list of Clannad Episode Wikipedia. I'd like to show you. Okay, this is called the list of Clannad Episode Wikipedia. Listen to read out loud.
List of Clannad episodes. From Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Clannad Anime Series Regular Edition DVD Compilation Volume 1, featuring the heroine Najisa Furukawa. The Clannad animated television series is based on the visual novel Clannad by the Japanese visual novel brand Key. The episodes, produced by the animation studio Kyoto Animation, are directed by Tatsuya Ishihara, written by Fumiko Shimo, and features character design by Kazumi Ikeda, who based the designs on Itaru Hinao's original concept. The story follows the main character Tomo Okazaki, a discontented high school student whose life changes when he meets a girl 1 year older than he is, named Najisa Furukawa. The Clannad anime series has 24 episodes, 23 of which were originally broadcast between October 2007 and March 2008. The last episode was released as an original video animation, OVA, on the 8th DVD in July 2008. The anime series was released in a set of 8 DVD compilations in Japan released between December 2007 and July 2008 by Pony Canyon, with each compilation containing 3 episodes. The license holding company Sentai Filmworks licensed the Clannad anime series 2 and Section 23 films localized and distributed the television series and the OVA, starting with the first half-season box set consisting of 12 episodes with English subtitles, Japanese audio, and no English language track, which was released in March 2009. The second half-season box set containing the remaining episodes was released in May 2009. Sentai Filmworks and Section 23 films released the entire first season, including the OVA, in a complete collection set featuring an English dub on June 15, 2010. 4. A continuation of the first anime series titled Clannad After Story, produced by the same staff as with the first series, and containing the same cast of voice actors, adapts the After Story arc from the Clannad visual novel, which is a continuation of Najisa's scenario. Clannad After Story has 25 episodes, 24 of which aired in Japan between October 2008 and March 2009. The last episode was again released as an OVA on the 8th DVD in July 2009. The episodes were released on 8 DVD compilation volumes between December 2008 and July 2009. Sentai Filmworks also licensed Clannad After Story and Section 23 films localized and distributed the television series and OVA, starting with the first half-season box set with English subtitles released in October 2009. 5. The second half-season box set containing the remaining episodes was released in December 2009. Sentai Filmworks re-released Clannad After Story with an English dub on April 19, 2011. 6. Aside from the theme music used for the episodes, the rest of the soundtrack for both anime series is sampled from several albums released for the Clannad visual novel, including the Clannad original soundtrack, Mabanaji, Memento Dash, Sararado, and Sararado Append. The cover art for Sararado Append is also visible as the last shot in the ending video animation of the first season. This includes 4 insert songs used within the first season's episodes, which include Kaze no Shoujo, Maiden of the Wind, and Anna, used in episode 9, Over, Oba, used in episode 18, and Kage Futatsu dash 2 Shadows, used in episode 22, which is also the main ending theme from the visual novel. Contents: 1. Clannad. 2. Clannad After Story. 3. References. 4. External links. Clannad Edit. Of the 24 episodes planned for release by Kyoto Animation, 123 were aired on television, with the first 22 being regular episodes, followed by an additional extra episode. The last episode was released as an original video animation on the 8th DVD on July 16, 2008, and is set in an alternate universe from the anime series in which Tomoya and Tomoyo are dating. The OVA episode was previewed on May 31, 2008, for an audience of 400 people picked via a mail-in postcard campaign. The broadcast time was first announced on August 11, 2007, at the TBS festival Anime Festa, which is also when the first episode was showcased. The episodes aired between October 4, 2007 and March 27, 2008, on the TBS Japanese television network in 4:3 aspect ratio 7. The anime also aired in 16:9 aspect ratio between October 26, 2007 and April 4, 2008, on the BSI Japanese television network. The anime series was released in a set of 8 DVD compilations in Japan, released between December 19, 2007 and July 16, 2008, by Pony Canyon, with each compilation containing 3 episodes. A Blu-ray disc box set of Clannad was released on April 30, 2010, in Japan. The license holding company Sentai Filmworks licensed the Clannad anime series 2 and Section 23 films, localized and distributed the television series and the OVA, starting with the first half-season box set consisting of 12 episodes with English subtitles, Japanese audio, and no English language track, which was released on March 3, 2009. The second half-season box set containing the remaining episodes was released on May 5, 2009. A complete box set of Clannad was released on June 15, 2010, featuring a new English dub of the series. 2 pieces of theme music are used for the episodes, 1 opening theme and 1 ending theme. The opening theme is Mag Mel, Kukul Mix 2007, Kukul Mix 2007, by the Japanese music group Euphonious. This song is a remix of Mag Mel, Mikomeru, the opening theme used for the original visual novel. The ending theme is Dango Daikazoku, a Big Dango Family, by the Japanese singer Jata. Dango Daikazoku is an adaptation of Najisa, Najisa's character theme from the visual novel, which was also adapted into Kaizena Tenohira, Small Palms, the ending theme of the after-story arc of the visual novel. No. Title 9. Directed by. Written by. Original air date. US air date. 01. On the hillside path where the cherry blossoms flutter. Transcription, Sakura Meiichiro Sakamichida, Japanese. Tatsuya Ishihara. Fumiko Shimo. October 4, 2007. March 5, 2009. On the way to Hikarizaka High School, Tomoya Okazaki, a delinquent third-year student wishing a change to occur in his life, meets a strange girl on the hill talking to herself named Najisa Furukawa. Throughout the day, he is introduced to many of the main female characters, Kyo Fujibayashi and her sister Ryu Fujibayashi, astounded by their personalities. Later in the day, Tomoya has a conversation with Najisa during lunch and learns that she is repeating her last year of high school, due to being absent too much because of illness, and wants to join the now disbanded drama club. They watch a female transfer student beat up 2 guys on motorbikes. After school, Tomoya goes to Najisa's family bakery and meets her eccentric parents, Akio Furukawa and Sani Furukawa. He is invited to have dinner with them. 02. The First Step. Transcription, Saisho no Ippo, Japanese. Noriyuki Kitanohara. Fumiko Shimo. October 11, 2007. March 12, 2009. Najisa admits to wanting to restart the drama club, and Tomoya helps Najisa to create recruiting posters, with the Big Dango family mascot, which they place around the school. At school that day, Tomoya meets 2 other girls. A strange genius named Koto Miichi knows who he finds hard to receive attention from, and a first year named Fuko Ibuki, and he confiscates her carving knife due to her injured hand. Later that day, Najisa finds out Tomoya used to play basketball and invites him to play a game the next day. However, it rains the following day, and Tomoya, along with his friend Yuhei Sunoera who used to play soccer, skip school by staying at the dormitory. Worrying that Najisa might be out in the rain due to her basketball invitation, Tomoya decides to go out. There, it is revealed that his father Naoki Okazaki injured Tomoya's shoulder in a fight. As a result, he is unable to play basketball anymore. As Najisa regrets asking, she faints in the rain. 03. Once again after crying transcription, Namida no Edo Nimo Ichido, Japanese. Yoshiji Kikamai. Fumiyako Shimo. October 18, 2007. March 19, 2009. After the previous night's events, Tomoya goes to see if Najisa is okay and finds out that she has been physically weak all her life. While walking back from the bakery, Tomoya helps get a strange electrician out of a jam and he gives Tomoya his card, finding his name to be Yuzuki Yoshino. Yuhei later reveals that Yuzuki is a retired professional musician. The next day, Najisa returns to school and talks with Tomoya, who then gives Fuko her knife back. Tomoya and Yuhei discover a baby boy named Botan who turns out to be Kyu's pet. After school, Najisa and Tomoya meet Yukine Miyazawa, a second-year student who is in charge of the library's reference room. Tomoya helps Najisa get more self-confidence for the drama club by acting as a new member of the club asking questions. 04. Let's Find Friends transcription, Nakama Osagaso, Japanese. Tatsuya Ishihara. Fumiyako Shimo. October 25, 2007. March 26, 2009. Tomoya runs into Fuko again at school, and she tries to invite him to her older sister's upcoming marriage ceremony, but Tomoya is not interested. Tomoya gets Yuhei to help reform the drama club by bribing him with bread from Najisa's family bakery. Najisa tries to get the help of Kyu and her sister Ryu in reforming the drama club, and Tomoya even tries to ask Tomoyo Sakegamai, after Yuhei fights her, and Kotomi if they would like to join. Tomoyo is trying to become student council president, and Kotomi does not give an answer. Tomoya and Najisa later go see Fuko about the club, and he discovers from Najisa that Fuko, who is supposedly unconscious in a hospital due to a car accident, is the younger sister of Kauko Ibuki who was Najisa's art teacher. 05. The scenery with the carving transcription, Chokoku no Aru Fukiai, Japanese. Tomo Aratani. Fumiyako Shimo. November 1, 2007. April 5, 2009. Tomoya and Najisa went to meet Kauko. To help the astral Fuko out, Tomoya and Najisa take her to stay at Najisa's house and hold back on the drama club for the time being. Najisa's family helps with carving more starfish out of wood, and at school Tomoya and Najisa help with passing them out to students, and Fuko's friend Mitsui. Later, Fuko talks about how she has wanted to attend classes but has never been able to. Tomoya makes arrangements with Yuhei, Kyu, and Ryu to act as classmates in Fuko's very first high school class, and even Sani comes to act as the teacher. 06. The older and younger sisters founders festival transcription, Anatu Imato no Saritsushe Se, Japanese. Noriko Takao. Fumiyako Shimo. November 8, 2007. April 12, 2009. After Golden Week, Tomoya and Najisa invite Kauko to the Founders Festival, after seeing Kauko's fiancé is none other than Yuzuki Yoshino. In the meantime, Fuko hands out more carved starfish to students at the festival, and her fan club helps spread the word about Kauko's wedding as well. Najisa and Tomoya meet Tomoyo, who is wearing a bear suit to find people who are causing trouble and manages to knock Yuhei out a window for bothering a girl. Kauko finally comes to the festival and sees Tomoya and Najisa, but she cannot see or hear her sister, who is beside them. 07. Star-shaped feelings transcription, Hoshigaten no Kamachi, Japanese. Noriyuki Kitanohara. Fumiko Shimo. November 15, 2007. April 19, 2009. Tomoya and Najisa convince Kauko that Fuko would wish for her to marry Yuzuki despite Fuko's condition. They talk to the school's administration after finding out Kauko would like to get married on the school grounds. Later, unfortunately, Kauko informs them that Fuko's condition has gotten worse, and she may not awaken from her coma. When Tomoya meets with Yuhei at the dormitory, he shares his observation earlier at school that some students cannot see Fuko while others are beginning to forget her existence and the presents she gave them. 08. The wind that vanishes into the twilight. Transcription, Tazogare en Ikir Rokaze, Japanese. Teiki Ishidate. Fumiko Shimo. November 22, 2007. April 26, 2009. More people from school are not able to see Fuko anymore, and now even those close to Fuko in the past are beginning to forget about her. First, Yuhei forgets after he went to see her in the hospital, followed by Kyu and Ryu. Tomoyo manages to remember with Tomoya's help, however. Later, Yuhei manages to remember Fuko for a moment but is unable to remember anymore. Tomoya and Najisa buy Fuko a birthday party set to cheer her up. When they get back to the bakery, they discover that Akio has forgotten Fuko, and while Sani has not forgotten completely, she cannot see her anymore. Tomoya and Najisa decide to take Fuko back to school for now. 09. Until the end of the dream. Transcription, Yum no Saigo Maid, Japanese. Yoshiji Kikamai. Fumiko Shimo. November 29, 2007. May 3, 2009. Tomoya, Najisa, and Fuko spend the night at school having a pre-celebration for Kauko's wedding, as the two and Fuko become closer. The next morning, Tomoya and Najisa have forgotten about Fuko and cannot see her. Both Tomoya and Najisa later feel that there is something important that they are forgetting, and finally remember about Kauko's wedding, which is also when they are able to see Fuko again. On the wedding day, initially, the only students to arrive were Tomoya, Najisa, and Fuko, but after the ceremony, it is shown that everyone who had received a starfish came to the wedding. Kauko and Yuzuki walk down the campus as everyone applauds them. Fuko ultimately disappears after thanking Tomoya and Najisa for what they have done and congratulating her older sister. A rumor still persists at the school of Fuko as a cute girl who is constantly running through the school. Tomoya believes Fuko will awaken someday. 10. The Girl Genius Challenge. Transcription, Tensai Shoujo no Chosen, Japanese. Yasuhiro Takemoto. Fumiko Shimo. December 6, 2007. May 10, 2009. Since no new members have joined the drama club, Tomoya goes to talk with Kotomi once again about joining. Tomoya takes her around the school and helps her introduce herself to people to make more friends. Tomoya takes Kyo, Ryu, and Kotomi to the drama room after school, and after a round of introductions, Tomoya asks them to join the club. Kyo initially passes on the chance but ends up giving in after her sister says she wants to join, and Kotomi joins as well. During the meeting, Kotomi suddenly leaves when she hears someone playing the violin in a nearby club room. Yet when she is offered a chance to play it, she is painfully horrible. 11. The After-School Rhapsody. Transcription, Hokugo no Kyasakyaku, Japanese. Tomo Aratani. Fumiko Shimo. December 13, 2007. May 17, 2009. Kotomi is still trying to play the violin, but has not improved at all. In short, her playing is painful to anyone listening. Kyo gets the idea to have Kotomi play at her first violin recital after school in 2 days, obliging Kotomi to practice in the meantime. The day before the recital, Tomoya visits Kotomi at the school's library and eats her delicious homemade apple pie. Shortly after, Tomo falls asleep and has a very strange dream. At the recital, the school, including Akio, Sani, and Missy Sagara, the landlady of Yuhei's dorm, came to listen. Kyo blackmails several students into coming with her position as a class representative. In the end, Kotomi did not improve at all, and the recital was still very painful to listen to. When Kotomi and her friends are going home, a strange man approaches Kotomi, though leaves shortly after. Kotomi was terrified of him. 12. Hidden World Transcription, Keikusareta Sekai, Japanese. Noriko Takao. Fumiko Shimo. December 20, 2007. May 24, 2009. Kotomi returns the violin to Rinishina and becomes friends with her. Kotomi changes her usual routine and starts attending her classes. Q invites Tomo, Najisa, Kotomi, and Ryu to go out together as a group and have fun at a local carnival. While they are at a claw crane, Fuko makes an appearance in, but no one seems to remember her. The next day, Najisa runs up to Q thinking Ryu got in a bus accident, though when they rush to the scene, they find no one was hurt. However, when Kotomi sees the accident, she has an emotional episode and collapses while screaming out. Kotomi leaves early that day, but when Tomo, Najisa, Q, and Ryu go to see her later, there is no answer at her house. After they leave, Tomo goes back and runs into the strange man from earlier. He finds out the gentleman is an acquaintance of Kotomi's parents. Tomo ends up going into Kotomi's house and finds her in a room with newspaper clippings on the wall reporting on the death of Kotomi's parents. Tomo then finally remembers that he met Kotomi years ago when he was a child. 13. Garden of Memories Transcription, Amwad no Niwao, Japanese. Noriyuki Kitanohara. Fumiko Shimo. January 10, 2008. May 31, 2009. Tomo realizes that he met Kotomi as a child, though only she had remembered. Back then, Tomo had often visited Kotomi and was her only friend. Around this time on Kotomi's birthday, her parents suddenly leave for college business reasons. Later that day, Kotomi is visited by an acquaintance of her parents, the gentleman, and tells her they were killed in a plane crash. Kotomi ultimately ended up burning her father's important thesis about discovering another world before anyone could see it. Since then, Tomo stopped coming to her house, as Kotomi dedicated herself to follow her parents' footsteps. While Kotomi shuts herself in her house, Tomo comes over and starts cleaning up the garden, which is overgrown with grass and weeds. Najisa, Kyo, and Ryu eventually help out as well. In the end, Kotomi is happy for everyone's generosity. 14. Theory of Everything. Taiki Ishidate. Fumiko Shimo. January 17, 2008. June 7, 2009. Kotomi finally leaves the house to find that Tomo worked in the garden all night long and had fallen asleep. When she returns to school, Tomo, Najisa, Kyo, and Ryu are all waiting for her. The mysterious gentleman whom she was so frightened of, believing he wanted to take her parents' thesis, is there as well. Kotomi and her friends find out that he is her legal guardian, and that there never were any other copy notes for the thesis after all. The envelope Kotomi burned and felt so guilty about was actually a teddy bear catalog. The gentleman also has a birthday gift for her, which is her parents' suitcase, that survived the plane crash and was passed from hand to hand around the world for years until he found it. Inside is a teddy bear, Kotomi's gift request to her parents before they left, and an affectionate letter. While Kotomi is holding the teddy bear, the room fills with orbs of light, and she, at last, makes peace with her parents' deaths. 15. Stuck Problem Transcription, Komata Monday, Japanese. Mitsuyoshi Yanida. Fumiko Shimo. January 24, 2008. June 14, 2009. To help Najisa reform the drama club, her friends offer their names to get enough members to qualify, but they still need an advisor with them for the club, which leads them to ask Toshio Komura. However, he is already meant to be the advisor for the choir club, so Najisa goes to talk with Ri about which club Komura should advise. The next day, Najisa finds a threatening letter on her desk, and Yuhei finds out that it was Ri's friend Sugisaka. Who is behind it? After talking with Najisa about Ri's past, Najisa chooses to give up on reforming the drama club, though this does not sit well with Yuhei and Kyo. Tomoya and Yuhei go to Yukine to kill time during school, and Yukine gives Yuhei an idea related to basketball. Later on, two captains of the judo club are pestering Tomoyo to join. Fuko appears but not too much help, yet Tomoya manages to take Tomoyo with him to get away from the captains. The next day, Yuhei approaches Tomoya and Najisa about playing in a basketball match to get the choir club to back down, but Tomoya continuously refuses his offer. After school, Tomoya and Najisa meet Yuhei's younger sister. Mei Sunoera. 16. 3-on-3. Yasuhiro Takemoto. Fumiko Shimo. January 31, 2008. June 21, 2009. When Mei shows up, she cleans her brother's filthy room, but Missy said she cannot stay at Yuhei's all-boys dorm, so Najisa offers to have her stay at her home while she is in town. Tomoya and Yuhei easily get Kyo to help with the basketball game, and she gets pumped up after a comment about pairing up with such loser guys. They bring the choir club over to watch the game. For half the game, Tomoya and the others play against first-year rookies and manage to lead by 11 points, but then the basketball team switches with their starters and the score even out. In the very last seconds of the game, Tomoya manages to make the last shot thanks to Najisa's voice and win the game. Afterward, Mei goes back to her hometown. 17. A room without anyone. Transcription, Fusei no Kyoken, Japanese. Naoko Yamada. Fumiko Shimo. February 7, 2008. June 28, 2009. After watching the basketball game, the choir club decide to share Komura with the drama club, but the student council will not allow it. Najisa collapses at school and cannot come to school for a few days. Then, Tomoya believes if Tomoyo becomes student council president she can make arrangements and revive the drama club. During this time, Tomoyo starts waking up Tomoya and Yuhei before classes start so they will not be late anymore. Kyo continues to set up situations where Tomoya and Ryu are together, such as eating lunch together. Yukine tries to help Tomoya with a grimoire. And he casts a spell to get locked in the gym equipment room with Kyo, which ends up happening. Kyo does not act like her usual self while in the room and thinks that Tomoya may end up trying to have sex with her. Tomoya undoes the spell and the door is opened by one of Kyo's classmates. Tomoya and Tomoyo start to walk home after school, but a bunch of gang members is at the school's entrance looking to fight Tomoyo. Fuko temporarily interrupts the fight. After the fight starts, teachers from the school arrive and break it up. Tomoya takes the blame for it to protect Tomoyo, sentenced to suspension as a consequence. 18. Countermeasures. Transcription, Gyakuten no Hisaku, Japanese. Noriko Takao. Fumiko Shimo. February 14, 2008. July 5, 2009. During the time that Tomoya is suspended from school, Tomoyo continues to come to his house, wake him up, and make him breakfast, though when she tries to ask him about his relationship with Nayuki, he does not answer her. On Sunday, when Tomoyo is making him lunch, Kotomi, Kyo, and Ryu arrive each bringing a bunch of food, and even Fuko appears with food. Tomoya ends up eating everything. Once back at school, he finds out how Tomoyo's reputation is dropping due to rumors of her as a gang leader and arranges for Tomoyo to compete against several school sports clubs to boost her reputation. After school, Tomoyo tells Tomoya about her family situation and how her brother risked his life to keep their parents from divorcing, and desire to protect the cherry blossom trees. Najisa finally comes back to school and is welcomed by her friends. During a tennis match between Tomoyo and a male tennis club member, a stray ball hits Najisa on the leg, and Tomoya overprotects her, showing everyone how devoted he is to her. Tomoyo realizes that Tomoya is in love with Najisa, and both Kyo and Ryu break into tears. Ultimately, Tomoyo becomes the student council president. 19. A New Life Transcription, Atara Shiik Katsugu, Japanese. Noriyuki Kitanohara. Fumiko Shimo. February 28, 2008. July 12, 2009. The drama club is finally revived and Komura is shared with the choir club, thanks to Tomoyo. Tomoya's homeroom teacher goes to Tomoya's house to ask Naoki about his son's future, but Naoki says that is something Tomoya has to decide for himself. Seeing the way Tomoya and Naoki are, Najisa offers to have Tomoya stay over at her house for the time being, which he accepts. After coming home from school, Tomoya finds several small kids in Najisa's house and finds out Sani is instructing them in a cram school. Najisa confides to Tomoya that she feels she did something really bad to her parents in the past, but she cannot remember what it is, and her parents say that she must be imagining it. 20. A Hidden Past Transcription, Himurata Keiko, Japanese. Taiki Ishidate. Fumiko Shimo. March 6, 2008. July 19, 2009. After hearing Najisa talk about the story of the girl in the illusionary world for the play she wants to perform, Tomoya tries asking Najisa's parents and Yukine about it, which seems familiar to him, but they do not know any story like that. Fuko appears unexpectedly. After Akio catches Tomoya and Najisa in the shed, he tells them to leave, and later brings Tomoya aside to tell him about what happened in the past. 10 years prior, Najisa was running a high fever one snowy day, and in the midst of this, her parents had to work, so they left her alone for a couple of hours. When Akio returned, he found Najisa collapsed outside as she had been waiting for them to return. Due to Najisa nearly dying, both of her parents abandoned their jobs and their dreams to protect Najisa. Akio tells Tomoya not to tell either Sani or Najisa about the story since he does not want it coming up again. Tomoya goes on a picnic with Najisa's family, and during a baseball game with some local young boys, Najisa accidentally confesses her love to Tomoya indirectly. 21. Face Toward the School Festival Transcription, Gakensai ni Mukut, Japanese. Mitsuyoshi Yanida. Fumiko Shimo. March 13, 2008. July 26, 2009. Najisa and her friends continue to practice for the play, such as reciting tongue twisters, choosing which music to use for the play, lighting, and stage direction. Akio rents a play on a video, and Najisa finds it very touching, plus it was the first play she ever saw. Tomoya and Akio try to find the script of the play that Najisa is going to perform in the shed but do not find it. The drama club has a practice the day before the school festival is to begin and it goes well. The night before the school festival, Najisa looks for a flashlight in the shed, but bumps into some boxes and discovers photographs and diaries of her parents' pasts. 22. Two Shadows Transcription, Kage Futatsugu, Japanese. Yasuhiro Takemoto. Fumiko Shimo. March 20, 2008. August 2, 2009. After Najisa finds out about her parents' secret past, she cannot take her mind off how she ruined their dreams and becomes emotional and depressed. On the day of the school festival, the whole drama club realizes that Najisa is not herself, and try to cheer her up, but to no success. As the performance starts, Najisa breaks down, but with encouragement from Akio, who said that his dream, as well as that of Sani, was for Najisa to make her dream come true. Tomoya also assures Najisa, and the play about the girl in the illusionary world was a huge success. Nayuki came to see them play too. The next day as the sun is setting, Tomoya finally confesses his love to Najisa in the club room. This comes as a shock for Najisa, causing her to cry tears of joy. Extra. The events of summer holidays transcription, Natsuyasumi no Dekigoto, Japanese. Naoko Yamada. Fumiko Shimo. March 27, 2008. August 9, 2009. It is now during summer vacation, but despite now having been going out for weeks, both Tomoya and Najisa are still very nervous about it and have not done much to progress their relationship, which comes as a shock to their friends. Mei comes back for another visit and helps out with the bakery. After learning of Tomoya and Najisa's current stagnant relationship, Mei decides to be their personal cupid of love to advance things along. Mei thinks up a whole plan which Najisa attempts to follow despite it being very embarrassing for her at times. After Tomoya calls Mei out, she runs away, though Najisa stops Tomoya from chasing after her. With some time left in the day, Tomoya and Najisa take a walk together while finally holding hands. OVA. Another World, Tomoyo Chapter Transcription, Amo Hitosu no Sekai Tomoyo Hen, Japanese. Noriko Takao. Fumiko Shimo. July 16, 2008. August 16, 2009. In an alternative timeline where Tomoya and Tomoyo are dating, Tomoyo becomes student council president, but bad rumors start around the school due to Tomoya's bad reputation. Tomoyo becomes busy during the school festival and continues to be so while she attempts to save the cherry blossom trees in town. A male student makes Tomoyo realize that he is holding Tomoyo back from greater things, and despite both sides being reluctant, they break up. Time passes as Tomoyo's reputation builds and Tomoya and Yuhei watch on the side through her many accomplishments, one of them being ultimately saving the cherry blossom trees by the winter. While on the way home after attending his high school graduation ceremony, Tomoya sees Tomoyo waiting for him along the snowy road lined by the cherry trees. They talk for the first time in months. From Tomoya's view, his expectation is that their lives have diverged, never to come together again, but he is surprised when Tomoyo expresses her desire to be with him again. Tomoya tries to dissuade her from making that choice, but her mind is made up, she would rather be with him. Tomoya and Tomoyo become a couple again. Clannad After Story Edit. A continuation of the first anime series titled Clannad After Story, produced by the same staff as with the first series, and containing the same cast of voice actors. 10 adapts the after story arc from the Clannad visual novel, which is a continuation of Najisa's scenario. The second season aired in Japan between October 3, 2008 and March 26, 2009, on TBS in 4:3 aspect ratio with 24 episodes. Of the 24 episodes, 22 are regular episodes, the 23 is an extra episode, and the last episode is a summary episode showcasing highlights from the series. Clannad After Story also aired in 16:9 aspect ratio starting on October 24, 2008. The episodes were released on 8 DVD compilation volumes between December 3, 2008 and July 1, 2009. The 8th DVD volume came with an additional original video animation, OVA, episode set in an alternate universe from the anime series where Tomoya and Kyo are dating. The OVA episode was previewed on May 24, 2009, for a limited number of people 11. The license holding company Sentai Filmworks licensed the Clannad After Story anime series 5 and Section 23 films, localized and distributed the television series and the OVA, starting with the first half-season box set consisting of 12 episodes with English subtitles, Japanese audio, and no English language track, released on October 20, 2009. The second half-season box set containing the remaining episodes was released on December 8, 2009. Sentai Filmworks re-released Clannad After Story with an English dub in April 2011-12. 2 pieces of theme music are used for the episodes, one opening theme and one ending theme. The opening theme is Tokyo Kazemu song To Pass the Time, which goes by the same tune as the background music track Onaji Takamai, To the Same Heights. The ending theme is Torch, and both the opening and ending themes are sung by Leah. No. Title 13. Directed by. Written by. Original air date. 01. The Goodbye at the End of Summer Transcription, Natsu no Owari no Sayonara, Japanese. Tatsuya Ishihara Mitsuyoshi Yanida. Fumiko Shimo. October 3, 2008. Tomo Okazaki dreams about his past as he, his girlfriend Najisa Furukawa and her mother watch Akio Furukawa play baseball. Summer vacation is now over and the second semester has started. Akio asks Tomo to form a baseball team for a local game against the neighboring shopping district team. Tomo is able to recruit Kyo Fujibayashi and Kotomi Ichinos from the drama club, Yuhei Sunoera, and his younger sister Mei Sunoera, as well as Tomoyo Sakegamai, Missy Sagura, and Yuzuki Yoshino. Tomoya's team manages to get an early lead, but Akio's leg gets injured by a flying bat, and Najisa fills in for her father as the pitcher. The other team catches up near the end, and it comes down to the final inning when Tomoya scores an RBI, winning the game. 02. Search for False Love Transcription, It's a Wari no Io Sagashite, Japanese. Taiki Ishidate. Fumiko Shimo. October 10, 2008. Mei has become worried about her older brother Yuhei since he still does not have a plan after high school and comes to stay at Najisa's for the time being. Based on a fleeting comment by Yuhei, Tomoya gets the idea to ask a girl to pose as his girlfriend so Mei will stop worrying about him. Yuhei goes around with Tomoya and Najisa asking Kotomi, Tomoyo, Ryu Fujibayashi, and Yukine Miyazawa, but no one can help him. Sani Furukawa overhears Yuhei's trouble and decides to be his fake girlfriend if it will help push him in the right direction in life. Yuhei, however, still believes her to be the older sister, instead of the mother, of Najisa. When Mei meets her brother's so-called girlfriend, Sani is posing as a student from Tomoya's high school. 03. Disagreeing Hearts Transcription, Shurekigo Kokoro, Japanese. Naoko Yamada. Fumiko Shimo. October 17, 2008. Yuhei and Sani go out on a date, accompanied by Tomoya, Najisa, and Mei. However, Mei still feels that her brother is hopeless even with a dependable girlfriend, and thus still worries about him. Mei remembers that her brother used to be much nicer and worried about her in the past when Mei would get picked on. In an attempt to provoke a brotherly response out of Yuhei, Mei lies about coming to the city to meet a guy she likes, and Tomoya later pretends in front of Yuhei that he is that person. Despite being shocked in both instances, Yuhei does not say anything to Mei. Since she cannot leave while things are the way they are, Mei continues to stay for the time being. 04. With the same smile as that day transcription, Ano Haitu Onaji Ajayoda, Japanese. Mitsuyoshi Yanida. Fumiko Shimo. October 24, 2008. Yuhei has not been coming to class lately, causing worry among his friends as well as his sister. Visiting Yukine in the library, Tomoya tells how Yuhei quit soccer because of older teammates bullying. Tomoya, Najisa, and Mei visit the soccer club, and they try to convince them to let Yuhei rejoin. After a grueling task of fetching soccer balls, the club still will not let Yuhei back on the team. While the leader of the soccer team makes Mei cry and picks on her, Yuhei storms in and starts beating up the entire soccer club with the help of Tomoya. After the soccer club members leave, Tomoya and Yuhei have another fight about the protection of Mei. Yuhei finally admits he was worried about Mei, and the fight is resolved after Najisa and Mei interject. The next day, after Mei returns home, Tomo and Yuhei laugh together on the way to school, and Yuhei finds out Sani is Najisa's mother. Tomo later recounts to himself how he and Yuhei first met. 05. The season you were in transcription, Kimi no Itaki Setsu, Japanese. Noriyuki Kitanohara. Fumiko Shimo. October 31, 2008. Tomoya and Najisa visit Yuhei, and spend some time talking with Missy and Tomoyo, who comes over after them. Later, when Tomoya and Najisa are talking with Missy privately about the autumn festival, Tomoya starts falling asleep. It is shown how Missy was a third year in high school. She met a strange boy named Katsuki Shima who says he can grant her one wish in return for her cheering him up years before when he was in the hospital. Missy has a boy she likes named Igarashi, but unknown to her already has a girlfriend. Igarashi asks Katsuki to tell her this, but he cannot tell her directly and starts crying. Missy sees Igarashi with his girlfriend, and realizes the truth. She runs away, leaving Katsuki behind. 06. Forever by Your Side transcription, Zuto Anata no Soba Ni, Japanese. Kazuya Sakamoto. Fumiko Shimo. November 7, 2008. After getting over Igarashi, Missy starts hanging out with Katsuki more and starts falling in love with him. Katsuki sneaks into the school to see how Missy doing with her duties as student council president. One day, Katsuki realizes after going to his house with two of Missy's friends, Saki and Yuki, that he is in fact not Katsuki Shima, but a cat who was sent by the dying Katsuki Shima to grant Missy's wish. At the autumn festival, Missy confesses she has come to love Katsuki, but that night he disappears shortly after Missy made her wish for him to always be with her. After Tomoya wakes up, he realizes the cat showed him all this. Later, everyone goes to the autumn festival. Tomoya takes Najisa there as their date when the cat and Missy show up. Tomoya then tells Missy some things Katsuki did not get a chance to tell her. An orb of light, much like the one Katsuki claimed to possess that supposedly grants a single wish, appears in the night sky. 07. Her whereabouts transcription, Kanajo no Ibasho, Japanese. Kazuya Sakamoto. Fumiko Shimo. November 14, 2008. Tomoya, Najisa, and Yuhei discover that Yukine is respected by the two rival gangs in the city since she helps both sides' members after they get hurt. Her older brother Kazuto Miyazawa is the leader of one of the gangs, and a young boy named Yu comes to her to find his older sister who apparently is dating a guy in Kazuto's gang. Yuhei pretends to Yu that he is Yukine's brother for the time being, but the truth is later revealed after Yukine takes Yu, along with Tomoya, Najisa, and Yuhei, to a bar where her brother's gang hangs out. Kazuto has been in the hospital since he got into a car accident when he saved a friend. While heading home, three members of the rival gang mistaken Yuhei for Kazuto and try to fight him and Tomoya, but Tomoyo intervenes, stopping them single-handedly. 08. Valiant Fight transcription, Yuki Arute Takai, Japanese. Teiki Ishidate. Fumiko Shimo. November 21, 2008. Tomoyo speaks to Yukine and the others about hearing the police will start to get involved in the fight between the two gangs gets any worse. Trying to stave off a major brawl due to a misunderstanding, Yukine goes with Tomoya to try to talk the other gang out of a fight, and the leader settles on a fight between him and Yukine's brother Kazuto. Yuhei reluctantly goes to stand in for Kazuto but is incapacitated along with everyone else after eating Sani's bread. So Tomoya, who did not eat the bread, fights the leader of the opposing gang. Yukine impersonates Kazuto to end the fighting and finally reveals to everyone that did not already know Kazuto has been dead for some time, and his wish was to end the fighting in the town. At the cemetery, Yukine pays respect to her dead brother and the rival gang joins in. With the rivalry resolved and peace restored, Tomoya witnesses an orb of light rising into the sky. Later, Yukine then tells Tomoya, Najisa, and Yuhei about the city's legend of the orbs of light. 09. En route on the sloped road transcription, Sakamichi no Taku, Japanese. Noriyuki Kitanohara. Fumiko Shimo. November 28, 2008. Tomoya and his friends are nearing graduation, and are discussing what they will be doing after they graduate. Kyo wishes to be a kindergarten teacher, Ryu hopes to go to a nursing school, Kotomi wants to study in America, and Yuhei aspires to be a model. Tomoya still has not decided on what to do yet. Najisa's sickness returns, making her unable to go to school and take exams, and she will have to repeat her last year of high school again, unfortunately. Tomoya brought a stuffed dango for Najisa on her birthday while their friends come over for Christmas Eve. On the day of graduation, as Toshio Komura decided to retire, Tomoya returns home to Najisa who wishes to take a walk with him, while holding hands. 10. Season of Beginnings transcription, Hajimari no Kisetsu, Japanese. Naoko Yamada. Fumiko Shimo. December 5, 2008. Shortly after his graduation, Tomoya decides to be more independent, and works toward this goal by first taking up a job at the bakery. Meanwhile, Najisa has begun her new school year, although she makes few friends and her attempt to re-establish the drama club ends in failure. Tomoya eventually moves out of Najisa's home to a small apartment of his own, thanks to Ryu, while taking up a job as an electrician with Yuzuki. After his first day of work, Tomoya returns to his new home completely exhausted, barely able to stay awake during his dinner with Najisa. 11. The Promised Founders Festival transcription, Yakusoku no Saritsusheisei, Japanese. Mitsuyoshi Yanida. Fumiko Shimo. December 12, 2008. Working has its ups and downs for Tomoya. He does not want his boss to find out that he has an injured shoulder, in fear that he will lose his new job. Yuzuki keeps Tomoya's physical disability a secret. Tomoya promises Najisa that he will join her at the Founders Festival, yet work gets busy, and while his fellow co-workers would have covered for him, he wanted to prove his worth. He is late for his date and is starting to become too busy to sustain a healthy relationship with Najisa, although she understands him. Resolving his responsibility, Tomoya gains respect with his co-workers and settles into his job. 12. Sudden Events transcription, Tatsuzan no Dekigoto, Japanese. Noriko Takao. Fumiko Shimo. December 19, 2008. Yuzuki tells Tomoya a little about his past and how he met Kauko Ibuki in high school. After graduating, Yuzuki went on to become a successful singer-songwriter, but ultimately it all came crashing down and he started taking drugs. When he came back to the city and saw Kauko again for the first time in years, he regretted not continuing to sing for her sake. The exciting news is, Tomoya was offered a new position as a manager in a big company, but the deal falls through when his father Naoki Okazaki is arrested at bad timing. Tomoya is enraged that his father is still messing up his life. Najisa manages to calm him down from hurting himself. Tomoya finally proposes to Najisa, and she accepts. 13. Graduation transcription, Satsuchio, Japanese. Kazuya Sakamoto. Fumiko Shimo. January 8, 2009. Tomoya tries to convince Akio to talk to him about his decision to marry Najisa. Akio, however, will only talk to him if he can get a decent hit with a baseball match. Tomoya continues to practice hitting the ball, even during the heavy downpour, until he gets good enough to face Akio again. He finally hits a home run and runs over to Akio to beg him to let Najisa be with him, to which Akio agrees. Months later, Christmas time arrives, and as Najisa turns 20, she has her first drink of sake. When she is drunk, she accuses Tomoya of being attracted to Sani. Najisa's fever goes up again, causing her to become absent from school, but not enough to repeat another year. Tomoya soon organizes with some of their friends and previous classmates, including Komura, to gather at the school and celebrate Najisa's graduation. Najisa receives her diploma and finally graduates. Later, they notify Nayuki and he congratulates them. Tomoya and Najisa get married afterward while taking a walk on the hill of cherry blossoms. 14. A new family transcription, Atara Shii Kazoku, Japanese. Teiki Ishidate. Fumiko Shimo. January 15, 2009. Tomoya and Najisa Okazaki are now a married couple living together. Najisa tries to find work and starts as a waitress at a newly opened family restaurant with Rinishina and Sugasaka near the school hill. Tomoya and Akio visit Najisa at work and scare out a couple of customers who were hitting on Najisa. Back at home, Najisa tells Tomoya that the old building of the school they went to is going to be torn down. Knowing that the drama club was in the old building, Tomoya freaks out and admits that he is uncomfortable with all the changes happening in their town. Tomoya and Najisa visit her parents, then Sani tells them Najisa is most likely pregnant. Akio gets mad at Tomoya at first, but he congratulates him afterward. 15. In the remains of summer transcription, Natsu no Nagari Ni, Japanese. Noriyuki Kitanohara. Fumiko Shimo. January 22, 2009. Everyone congratulates Tomoya on becoming a father soon. Najisa becomes increasingly bedridden due to morning sickness. Najisa wants to give birth at home, so Sani introduces Yagi, a midwife who is to assist in the delivery. Sani later tells Tomoya that giving birth will be difficult because of Najisa's weak physique and may even put Najisa's life at risk, so they might have to choose abortion. However, Sani leaves the choice up to Tomoya and Najisa. Najisa learns of her mother's worries, but she decides to go through with the birth. Akio takes Tomoya to a meadow and tells him more about the day when Najisa nearly died. Akio carried Najisa to the meadow and prayed for her life, and Najisa miraculously regained consciousness. Akio tells Tomoya that while many painful and difficult things will happen, he and Sani will always be there for Tomoya and Najisa since they are family. Tomoya and Najisa take a walk by the river and decide on the name Ushio for their child. 16. White Darkness transcription, Shiroi Yami, Japanese. Naoko Yamada. Fumiko Shimo. January 29, 2009. Winter comes as Najisa enters the final months of her pregnancy and some friends come over for New Year's Day. When Kotomi tells her research about another world, Tomoya spontaneously remembers Najisa's play. On a heavy snow day, Najisa becomes sick again and goes into labor 2 weeks early. Tomoya and her family, unable to transport her to a hospital in time, is forced to have her give birth at home. After an excruciating process, Najisa successfully gives birth to their daughter, Ushio, but the delivery and her illness combined take their toll on her and Najisa dies moments after seeing her newborn baby. Tomoya, who has stayed by her side the entire time, does not take the sudden turn of events well. His dream of raising their daughter together as a family is shattered. 17. Summertime transcription, Natsujikan, Japanese. Mitsuyoshi Yanida. Fumiko Shimo. February 5, 2009. 5 years later, after Tomoya left Ushio with Akio and Sani, he spends his days overwork and spending money on smoking and drinking. One day, Tomoya and Sani go out together into town, and she asks him to go with them on a family trip. After Sani continues to ask him, he accepts. On the day of the trip, he discovers that both Akio and Sani have left him alone with Ushio. The two spend the next day and night together, but Tomoya finds it difficult to connect with the small child. After Akio and Sani still do not show up, Tomoya asks Ushio if she would be willing to still go on a trip, even if it was only with a person like him. The two decide to take the trip by themselves and, as they walk, Tomoya wonders where they are headed. 18. The Ends of the Earth Transcription, Daiichi no Hate, Japanese. Noriko Takao. Fumiko Shimo. February 12, 2009. While on the trip, Tomoya buys a toy robot he picks out for Ushio to play with after they arrive in the countryside. The next day, after staying at an inn the previous night, Tomoya and Ushio take a walk through the area and come across a field of flowers. Ushio plays in the field as Tomoya watches, but Ushio soon loses the robot in the field. They try to look for it but to no avail. Remembering something from his past, Tomoya goes off to another area and meets his grandmother Shino Okazaki, his father's mother. She tells Tomoya how he came here with his father shortly after his mother Atsuko Okazaki died, and also how his father worked very hard to support him over the years. Tomoya finally comes to terms with Naoki that he is not a bad father. When they go back to the field where Ushio is, she still cannot find the robot and does not want to stop looking because it was the first thing her father ever gave her. Tomoya realizes his previous mistakes and vows to try his best for Ushio from now on, who is very happy at the prospect of being with her father. On the way home, Tomoya starts telling Ushio about Najisa for the first time, but memories of Najisa cause him to break down. After being comforted by Ushio, Tomoya realizes how important the two are for each other, and finally embraces his role as Ushio's father. 19. The Road Home Transcription, e.g., Japanese. Kazuya Sakamoto. Fumiko Shimo. February 19, 2009. Tomoya and Ushio came back from their trip together. After spending a night with Najisa's parents, they leave for Tomoya's apartment, where they will both be living from now on. Sometime later, Tomoya takes a day off from work and the two meet up with Kauko Yoshino, whose sister Fuko Ibuki has finally been released from the hospital. Afterward, Tomoya and Ushio visit Naoki. Tomoya manages to convince his father into moving back to the countryside with his mother Shino. While Tomoya and Ushio happily say goodbye to Naoki now that his role as a father has come to an end, an orb of light appears and gets absorbed by Tomoya, while only being noticed by Ushio. 20. The title Breeze's Mischief Transcription, Shiokaze no Tawamure, Japanese. Taiki Ishidate. Fumiko Shimo. February 26, 2009. When Tomoya brings Ushio to school he meets her teacher, who is none other than Kyo after seeing Botan her pet boar, and the two soon reacquaint themselves. After that, Tomoya goes to work and Yuzuki asks him for Fuko to play with Ushio, since they have become friends after all, and Tomoya agrees. When it is time to sleep, Tomoya uses the Dango Daikazoku song to lull Ushio to sleep. Fuko arrives at Tomoya's house to play until the evening when she goes back home as she reminds him about Najisa. The next day, Kyo tells Tomoya about the annual sports day at school where the parents are to participate as well. He is reluctant about it, but Ushio encourages him, which makes him change his mind. One evening, Ushio is taking a stroll to the new hospital by herself and encounters Fuko on her way. When the latter asks why she does this, Ushio says it is for no real reason. The next day, Tomoya is preparing for the meet at the Furukawa bakery, when Ushio is suddenly struck with a fever, much to the others' shock. 21. The End of the World Transcription, Sekai no Owari, Japanese. Noriyuki Kitanohara. Fumiko Shimo. March 5, 2009. Ushio has the same illness as Najisa's and Tomoya decides to stay home to take care of her. In case he had to leave home, he calls for both Akio and Sani to take his place. Ushio asks Tomoya that she wants to go on a trip like last time, but he tells her that it will happen once she gets better. After Tomoya resigns from his job, Yuzuki wishes him the best of luck. Akio offers Tomoya some money, but he declines his kindness and Akio states that every man has something to protect. Tomoya believes that Najisa's and Ushio's lives are somehow linked to the changing in the city. After several months, winter arrives and then Christmas. Ushio's fever still does not back down, and Tomoya seems to be getting sick as well and hallucinates the illusionary world. Ushio once again asks Tomoya to go on a trip, and he ultimately accepts thinking that he might not be able to fulfill another promised wish. After they leave the house and it starts snowing, remembering Najisa's death, Ushio's fever worsens and dies calm and serene in Tomoya's arms right after telling her father that she loves him. Soon after, Tomoya collapses in grief and supposedly dies of shock, then something strange happens. 22. Small Palms Transcription, Kaizena Tenohira, Japanese. Naoko Yamada. Fumiko Shimo. March 12, 2009. After failing to create a flying machine to travel to an alternate world, the girl in the illusionary world is dying in the snow, and the junk robot, created by the girl, regrets having her take the journey. The girl can finally hear the robot and tells it that they once existed in another world. As she hums the tune of Dango Daikazoku, the illusionary world starts to disappear. As the robot is swept away, the girl calls him daddy and disappears with the world. On the school hill the day Tomoya first met Najisa, he and the robot become one. He calls after Najisa, hugs her, and she is glad that he did so. Najisa brings Tomoya through time, events before Ushio's birth remain the same, and together the voices of Tomoya and the robot note the end of his long journey. Tomoya awakens to Ushio's birth, but this time, Najisa miraculously survives. After Najisa watches Tomoya give Ushio her first bath, she and Tomoya see countless orbs of light are floating throughout the city outside the window. They both sing to Ushio and from then on, Tomoya and Najisa experience a happy life raising their daughter together as a family, finally free of their cursed fate. After 5 years, Fuko and Kauko are walking to the new hospital to get a checkup. Fuko goes into the woods and spots the girl from the illusionary world sleeping under a tree. When she approaches, it turns out to be Ushio. Fuko says that she would like to be friends and that the fun is just getting started. Extra. The event from 1 year before transcription, Ikinan Mei no Dekigoto, Japanese. Mitsuyoshi Yanida. Fumiko Shimo. March 19, 2009. 1 year before the events of the beginning of the story, Tomoya is beginning his second year in high school, while Najisa is starting her third year. Najisa is having trouble making friends as usual, while Tomoya and Yuhei are busy being delinquents and carrying out pranks on Kyo, and inadvertently Najisa's expense. After Najisa is knocked out by a falling metal pan that Tomoya and Yuhei had set up as a prank for freshmen, a classmate of Najisa's finally finds the chance to talk with her and they become friends. Najisa keeps the banner from the prank, one with the message to instill confidence written by Tomoya because she feels it attributed her to make a new friend. Summary. Under the Green Tree transcription, Midori no Ki no Shidada, Japanese. March 26, 2009. Tomoya tells Ushio of the past events that happened from when he first met Najisa, until after Ushio is born and Najisa survives. When Ushio falls asleep during the story, Tomoya begins to quite clearly recall a more tragic set of circumstances, a reality which didn't happen due to efforts of the girl in the illusionary world but of which he has a clear memory of. At the end of this retelling, Tomoya, with Ushio and Fuko who are both asleep, are shown under a tree at the present time having a picnic. Ushio wakes up, just before Najisa calls the three of them, saying that it is time to head home. Ova. Another world, Kyo chapter transcription, Amo Hitosu no Sekai Kyuhen, Japanese. Noriko Takao. Fumiko Shimo. July 1, 2009. In an alternate timeline, Ryu confesses her love to Tomoya and they both begin dating. However, Tomoya soon notices that Kyo has been acting strange, and confronts her. Kyo admits that she is also in love with him, but never confessed because she was too scared to risk being rejected or hurting Ryu's feelings. This creates an uneasy love triangle among Tomoya, Kyo, and Ryu, leading Tomoya to finally admit that he loves Kyo. Ryu, already knowing that Tomoya loves Kyo more, encourages Kyo to work up the courage to confess. Ryu breaks up with Tomoya with no hard feelings, wanting to cherish both the good and painful memories they had together. Tomoya and Kyo then officially become a couple.
I'd like to show you about Clannad with the DVD. I'd like to show you that is. I'd like to show you. Okay, this is called a Clannad DVD. Right here. See? I'd like to show you about Clannad the Blu-ray. I'd like to show you that is. I'd like to show you. Okay, here you are. This is called Clannad the Blu-ray. See? See right here? This is a Blu-ray. I'd like to show you about Clannad After Story DVD. I'd like to show you that is. I'd like to show you. Okay, here you are is Clannad After Story DVD. See? See right here? I'd like to show you about the Clannad After Story of Blu-ray. I'd like to show you that is. I'd like to show you. This is called the Clannad After Story the Blu-ray. See that? I'd like to show you about Clannad the computer series with the Clannad and Clannad After Story. I'd like to show you that is. I'd like to show you. Okay, this is called Clannad After Story Complete Collection with the Blu-ray. You see that? I'd like to show you about Clannad motion pictures. I don't know to say DVD or a Blu-ray. I'd like to show you that is. I'd like to show you. Okay, this is called the Clannad the motion pictures with the DVD. See that? See right here? Well, I hope you like my videos. I hope you like it. Well, maybe that's it.